There is nothing that has the comic book community abuzz at the moment, like the inevitable casting of the Fantastic Four. Who should play the first family of the Marvel Universe? Well, I have seen many fan casts, from mini brains who don't know their Reed Richards from their Molecule Man, and quite frankly, I have been disgusted with the results. John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic? Emily Blunt as the Invisible Woman? Zac Efron as the Human Torch? Seth Rogen as the Thing? What messed up, bizarro world am I living in, where anyone with the IQ above a raw potato thinks that these people have even a passing resemblance to these beloved characters, in either appearance or personality? Of course, many of the people who spout this garbage don't actually believe it, but like good little sycophants, they toe the company line and excuse and accept every bad decision or rumor they get their hands on. How else would they get free passes to the newest MCU movie? I, on the other hand, actually love these characters, and that is the god-honest truth. And as a true fan of the Fantastic Four, I will not sell them out for 30 pieces of silver or a $15 movie ticket. In this video essay, I will dissect the entire cast of Marvel's first and greatest team of heroes, and give to you who I feel would best portray them. First, a few disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1. I am not hindering myself by picking actors of the modern era. In fact, my cast would never have worked in the temporal sense. But I have found who I think would be the greatest actor for each member of the team, and I will explain what makes them perfect. Because I do think I have found as close to a perfect cast as is humanly possible. Disclaimer number 2. The 1994 Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie was excellent, and the casting was exquisite for our intrepid foursome. Perhaps the best cast they could have made at that time. However, in the grand scheme of the entirety of film history, I feel there are actors and actresses who could portray them better. But this video should in no way be interpreted as a knock on any of them. They were, well, fantastic. Disclaimer number 3. This one is important, so listen closely. The Fantastic Four are fictional characters who were created for the entertainment of the average comic book reader, a child between 7 and 12 years old. As such, I will be picking a cast who will appeal to that age bracket, particularly for The Thing. This stipulation is of particular importance, and is one of the reasons I think my cast is better than all the rest. So let's get started, shall we? I will first start with the world's second smartest man, the leader of the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. I have already done a video essay on Reed, which I would ask you to watch, as it is my attempt to fight back against his modern characterization, propagated by the aforementioned mini-brains. And in said video, I explained why I think the perfect Reed Richards is the great Bill Bixby. I know he played Dr. David Banner in the Hulk TV show, but I think his true calling was Dr. Reed Richards. Let me explain. In that series, and his myriad other acting roles, he has shown that he is more than capable of sincere emotion. No matter what the emotion was, be it happiness, fear, anger, despair, restraint, you name it, you feel you're actually watching a man in those situations, not just an actor going through the motions. I implore you to watch what I feel to be the greatest comic book movie of all time, Trial of the Incredible Hulk. In that film, you will see all of what would have made him Reed Richards. Early in the movie, when pushed too far by a big bruiser of a laborer, Bixby nearly retaliates. In that moment, you see a man who, though smaller than his adversary, is willing to stand up for himself and duke it out like a man. This is Reed Richards! When the going gets tough, no matter the opponent, Reed is ready for action, and he will not shy away from combat when the time is right. However, before Bixby begins to fight, he stops himself, eats the humiliation, and walks away. Of course, he does this because he doesn't want to transform into the Incredible Hulk. Am I saying this scene is exactly how Reed Richards would act? No. But in that scene, Bixby shows that he has the necessary man's man quality about him, the internal strength, indomitable will, and stoic composure that is frighteningly rare in Hollywood. The scene is utterly brilliant, and it's only about 20 seconds long, with little to no dialogue. But that is the mark of a good actor. The ability to convey emotion without words. You know, kind of like acting? Later on in the film, you see Bixby portray another characteristic of Reed Richards. Subtlety. Sure, we all know Reed makes all sorts of amazing, mind-boggling inventions, and goes on reality-warping adventures, but as a man, he is quite reserved. I wouldn't say that he's low-key, per se, but he is in control of himself at almost all times. Any actor who would play Reed would have to have a level of subtlety, the feeling that they are always in control and not likely to lose himself in fear, pain, or wonder. Intelligence isn't best shown by the character spouting $5 words. In the hands of a master actor, it is shown by the character thinking. Consider the scene where David Banner meets attorney Matt Murdock for the first time. In said scene, Banner tries to walk away from Murdock, but the blind lawyer raises his cane to stop him. In a blink and you'll miss it moment, Bixby tries to push the cane from his chest, but feels the powerful resistance stopping him. The look in Bixby's face clearly shows that his cogs are turning. How is this guy able to put so much resistance into an outstretched cane? How strong is he? And then it's over. It is a little moment, but it does two things. One, it shows Banner is an acute observer and a deep thinker, both attributes of Reed. And two, it gives you a hint that not all is as it seems with Matt Murdock. We find out later that he is the sightless swashbuckler known as Daredevil, a man who trained his body to peak physical conditioning. But we got a clue to that because of Bill Bixby's expert subtlety. And as a quick aside, Rex Smith was the greatest Daredevil ever on film. Charlie Cox stinks. And the other aspects of Reed Richards, you know, hyper-intelligence and a caring nature, the instances of Bill Bixby showcasing those are too numerous to count. Let's not even talk about his children's movies, like The Apple Dumpling Gang, or his TV series like My Favorite Martian, The Magician, and The Courtship of Eddie's Father. One just has to watch a single episode of the Incredible Hulk TV series to see his intelligence and kindness on display. He portrays a man who is so smart and so good, it almost hurts to watch him. Seriously, if you suspend your disbelief, forget it is a show, and fully engross yourself in this man and his trials and tribulations, you'll find yourself moved to tears. That is what we need. Someone who makes you feel. Someone smart. Someone handsome. Someone who is familiar with both leading roles and children's movies. That is why I say the perfect Reed Richards, without any reservations, is Bill Bixby. He already looks like Reed Richards the way John Byrne draws him. The only thing he would need to be absolutely identical is the white hair around his head. Not white temples, as people often say, all the way around. Just like it has been since issue 1. Just look at it. It's not difficult. Let's move on to his wife, the beautiful Susan. Any actress who played Susan would have to be able to play a strong, feminine character. And that is the issue people have with casting Susan. Everybody wants to make her a super strong female character, which she is, no doubt about it, but they go about it the wrong way. Susie does not have an outward bravado, an ego, or an inflated pride, but she does have a strength to her, one that lets you know she isn't just a damsel in distress, and a tenderness that makes you want to move mountains for her. At her very core, she is a woman who just wants to be a wife and mother. But fate has granted her with unimaginable power, and her moral compass is too strong to let bad things happen if she can help it. Yes, she is a strong female character, but she isn't brash. And that's okay! What fun would it be if every woman in Marvel Comics was the same? Bullheaded and take charge, free of fault, self-consciousness, and private fears. It would be no fun at all! But that is often how she is perceived and described. Susan is a powerful character, the most powerful of the entire Fantastic Four, thanks to John Byrne. But her strength does not need to be flaunted. It is a quiet strength, the most powerful type of all. The other problem with her previous characterizations is that, in-universe, Susan is remarkably attractive. And while the two actresses who played her in theatrically released movies may be attractive to some people, they were not attractive to all people. And that is what we need. Think about it. Susan has had so many characters fall in love with her, it's insane. Let's go through a quick list, shall we? Just the ones off the top of my head. Well, there's Reed, of course, Namor the Submariner, and Emperor Gaius Tiberius Augustus Agrippa from issue 241. Even Ben Grimm was in love with her, and trying to woo her from Reed until he met Alicia Masters in issue 8. And Doctor Doom, who views love as being for lesser beings, has more than once remarked about her beauty. This is a very, very short list, but the point is clear. Susan is viewed as attractive by everyone. Here's the criteria we have laid out so far. We need a talented actress, one who is highly feminine and stunningly beautiful to the point where no one can argue it. The only woman who captures all of that is Marilyn Monroe. You may think that I am saying that only because she looks like the way Jack Kirby drew Susan, but that is just an added perk. If you look at her, she really does fit the bill. Still to this day, she is considered the absolute standard for beauty, and everyone else pales in comparison to her. This would make it believable when characters from all walks of life are struck by her beauty. But aside from her physical appearance, Marilyn is an excellent actress, something that is overlooked far too often. In her final film role, the movie The Misfits, she expertly blends appeal and strength, something essential for anyone portraying Susie. She is also incredibly funny and likable in movies like How to Marry a Millionaire and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And on top of all of that, she's a great singer. Her range and acting talent is remarkable. Sure, Susan wouldn't likely be funny or sing in a Fantastic Four movie. All I am saying is that Marilyn is a supremely talented human being. Add her acting skills with her unmatched looks, and Marilyn Monroe would make a perfect Susan. Now onto Susie's younger brother, the Human Torch. In the beginning of the series, he was 16 years old, and by the time Heroes Reborn rolled around and ended the classic Marvel Universe, he had aged probably 7 years. So we are looking for a young actor, or one who can look young for an extended period of time, who's very handsome, with a great personality, and a nice head of hair. I can only think of one man, Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney is full of life, bursting with charm and personality, is surprisingly muscular, and can act circles around absolutely anyone. He was the go-to all-American boy of the 30s and 40s for a reason, people. And he is likable, a very important part of casting Johnny Storm. An essential thing to remember is that as much as Johnny gets on Ben's nerves, everything he does and says comes from a good place. Mickey Rooney could pull off that snarky yet lovable character exceedingly well. He even resembles the way Jack Kirby originally drew Johnny, with a bit of a pug nose. Rooney is a bit too short, but I think, when all is said and done, a little thing like height doesn't matter when the actor is the character. Go watch his Andy Hardy movies. In that series, he is a car-loving, girl-kissing firecracker with more energy and enthusiasm than any one man has a right to have. He even has a big sister who is always warning him to stay out of trouble. Who does that remind you of? Mickey Rooney is perfect. He hits all the boxes, and I have no second thoughts about casting him as the Human Torch. Now we come to my favorite member of the Fantastic Four, my favorite hero in the Marvel Universe, and after pre-Crisis Superman, my favorite superhero in comics in general. Aunt Petunia's favorite nephew, Ben Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. An actor playing Ben Grimm would need to be extremely likable when he wants to be, deathly terrifying when he needs to be, and a man who can pull off deep melancholy just as well as supreme jubilation. And he would need to be tough. Tough is a very difficult thing to cast. If it isn't authentic, it looks silly or unbelievable and ruins everything. So to get an authentic tough guy performance, you really need a tough guy. That puts us in a pickle. Who strikes that delicate balance? Who is a legitimate tough guy while also being a larger-than-life character? Who can be the scariest man in the room, but also have little children cheer for him? Who could look dangerous one second and silly the next? Who is comfortable enough in his own skin to act like a clown if need be? Who can play with the hearts of millions with just the look in his eyes, or a simple word, or an expression? Who is good enough to be the Thing? The answer, my friend, is the Incredible Hulk Hogan. Think about it. Both Hogan and the Thing are loved by children around the world. Both can be smiley and happy while being the toughest thing on two legs. Both are larger than life in all respects. Both grab your attention when they walk in the room. Hogan was the idol of millions because he had the power to capture your emotions in the palm of his hand. When he was hurt, you were hurt. When he bled, you bled. When he won, you won. That is the Thing. The surprisingly human freak of nature. The guy you want to be your best friend. The hero everyone can get behind. Hogan even has the piercing, expressive eyes and gruff voice essential for Ben Grimm. Remember, in her introduction issue, Alicia Masters recognizes him by his voice, despite the fact that he has reverted back to Ben. So clearly his voice is the same in both forms. And I can't be the only one who would pay an arm and a leg to see Hogan as a pile of orange rocks, screaming, "It's clobberin' time!" At 6'8", is Hogan too tall for the role? Yes. Do I care? Not one bit. Because Hulk Hogan is the perfect Thing. So there you have it. The ultimate cast of the Fantastic Four would have Bill Bixby in the role of Reed Richards, Marilyn Monroe as Susan, Mickey Rooney as Johnny Storm, and Hulk Hogan as the Thing. I thank you for listening this long. I hope you see where I'm coming from, and understand why I chose who I chose. These were not spur-of-the-moment picks. A lot of thought went into this. I can only hope this video will help influence who is cast in the new film. Of course, my exact cast could never be chosen, as of the four, only Hulk Hogan is still alive. But as long as the people they choose are along these lines, everything should be fine. Because if the cast is wrong, I will boycott the film, and I hope you, a true Fantastic Four fan, would do the same. Long live the Fantastic Four!